again, guys. Back to Grand Hauler. Last time we'd got as much as that, and this time we're going to be looking at getting all that little bits of detailing into the cab. So I've had plans for this, then I had plans for this, and then plans have changed, but I'll explain that in a minute. So you're probably looking thinking it's bits done that you haven't seen. So yeah, I've gone ahead and done like the little light on the arch, air can, in the mirror, put the window in, part of the stack and the grab rail there. Now I've basically just gone ahead and done them because you have to make two of each because it's symmetrical, so you're going to have the same as what I've already built up on the opposite side. So you haven't missed anything, so we can still go through all that with you now and get those on, and then get the cab put together properly and have it looking like a kit. Now in my terms of putting it together properly would be just bolting it all together. There are going to be some little bits, like when it comes to the roof, there's lots of little lights that need doing and lenses popping in. Now because they're all just small fiddly bits, and once I've built this up I'm going to be taking it back apart again so I can think about my plans for paint and everything else. So there's a few little particular bits like in the lights and at the front with the lights where all the lenses go. So I won't be fitting those because they require gluing in, and from taking them apart, if they end up coming apart, it starts getting messy then with all the glue residue that's left over. So I'm sure you will all be confident now, if you've got so far through a stage of a build, to maybe glue some lenses in and the little bits that's required. Like I say, I won't be doing that part, these little bits on the roof. Just for the obvious reasons is they're fiddly, they get lost and they may get broke. Now I had plans for this as what I wanted, so it was all going to change, but now the Grand Hauler's staying. For one reason, for what I need for the build I want to do, which I am going to do at some point, I'd require basically a whole new cab, and the Grand Hauler chassis is too long for what I was wanting. So I'm going to start afresh after this build, and I am just going to go on and just make something out of the Grand Hauler for now. I don't know what, paint wise I mean, I don't know how I'm going to paint it up. I do like my blue grey as I keep saying, but I don't know, I think I'm going to go for something a little bit different. Get it done, get it finished, and then I can start looking into investing into my next build, which hopefully a lot of you guys are going to love. I'm already so super excited about it. I have spent hours, days, weeks just in Google Images and browsing Google and reading in forums and here, there and everywhere just to try and get what I can. And yeah, it's been a bit of a tough ride for this next build, but as I said, it's going to be fun. So for now we'll crack on and proceed with the Grand Hauler. Later on in the build as well, we are going to be required to just glue the seats onto there, dab of glue, and they just stick on there. Again, that's another little bit that I will not personally be doing at this moment in time. But straightforward, simple, glue in the bottom of the seats, pop it into position, let it set, and away you go. So let's get it built up, and then I can start pulling it apart, replacing it with some of the upgrades I've got. I can do a motor replacement, rebuild the new front axle I've got, swap that over. Probably going to unlock the differentials as well, as I said, because this ain't going to be something that I'm just going to be running through the woods anymore. I don't know, I'm fond of the Grand Hauler and it's nice, but we'll see, only time will tell. So we can proceed with this now, guys. The next phase in the build is actually like painting the cab, but you don't have to do it as the instruction tells you in that particular order. You can paint it when you want. It's fun to build them and then pull them apart, to paint them, to rebuild them, to get a feel of what you're actually building. First step is going to be the mirrors. Now if you've already painted the cab and you are fitting the mirrors, you will require Loctite to hold the nuts onto here. Otherwise, when they hold the glazing into the side of the cab and you're driving them about, the nuts are prone to just shaking loose, and then your mirrors fall off and then the windows fall out. So wherever it says to use Loctite, I would recommend using it. So got the little bits that I'm going to be working with for this point, which is number 50, and we're also going to require something for trimming and a file just to neaten up them edges. As you can see where they've broke off the sprues in places, you end up with these. And not only that, you are instructed as via the manual, there are certain little plastic pips that need to be just snipped off and filed down. Just make certain parts flush to sit in. As you can see at the minute, with that not being, it doesn't sit flush in there, and that will require gluing in. Just going to want to take this, remember Loctite on the thread at the end here where your screws go in. What you want to do is take your mirror back and take this and just sit that in there, and then basically what will happen here is a little spot of glue on the back of your mirror lens, and then that'll hold that in place. And then a little bit of glue onto your mirror, and just hold that in place into the mirror holder, and then that would be your complete mirror. So I'm going to be leaving the gluey bits and these off there just for the time being. I will get back around to doing that, but that's basically that. So now what you want to do, so the lip in the mirror where we've just took that other little round mirror out, that's the bottom. So, and the curved arm on the mirror arm is also the bottom. So keep those to the same side. And all you're going to do, so bottom and bottom, then you have these like little clamps. Now these are tiny, so they may be a little bit fiddly. All we're going to do is just same again on this bottom one. So now I know my mirror isn't complete, but your mirror would be looking like that with the actual mirrors in and the other little mirror on the bottom of that mirror. So now fitting it to the cab, and in your parts tree somewhere you will have part G11, and if you look, it's hexed in there, and it takes these tiny little nuts which we're going to be using to put the mirror on. So this is, yeah, it's a cool little tool. So there's a side window. Now it is ribbed so as that it sits flush over the pillar within the window, so it's really easy to work out which way that goes. One way it'll just sit flat and the other way it'll clip into place. So I'll just pop that in there. Now remember to have Loctited these, and with yours you're going to have the little mirror on, so if you're doing it upside down like I am, this mirror would be up. So this way into the two little holes at the side of the window, and this little tool thing, just drop your little nut in the end of it. Again, you're going to want Loctite on the inside and the outside. That's it, just stops the nut shaking loose and your windows falling out. That is the glazing done, and the mirrors on the side. So next, real simple one, just the headlight mounts, and then we can do the other stack exhaust to go to the other side, and we'll just pop the windscreen in as well here. So for the windscreen, drop your windscreen in place, now looking like so. So now it's just two self tappers into these two holes here. So there we go, coming along nice and fast now. So there's one I've put together earlier, and here's one we're just about to put together. So basically, if you was to have the MFU or some form of lighting installed, you'd pop your bulb in there first. But in the kit there is lenses to replace, so you can put lens caps in there. As I said, I won't be doing that, but it's real simple. Pop your lens in. If you've got an LED, your wire will just feed through there, and then it's just this tiny tapping screw. There's the headlights. Now I do have replacement lenses, because they are tiny. Them with a bigger lens, so I might be able to make the twin headlamps out of those. So now that's that. Stack exhaust, and again bits are going to need to be filed, so I'll just file these. Now on this particular piece of the stack, if you take a look on the back, you see that little pip, and it actually looks like it's a part of it. Well, it's not. That's required to be filed off also. It does state in the manual as well. So just be wary of little bits, because when you go to put them together they won't sit flush. So on this bit, it's just going to sit onto there, and using these tiny screws again, can't even pick them up, screw them into place. So now that's on there like that. We are now on the air cleaners. Just got them trimmed up for now. This screw here, just pop that into there like so. That's then where it'll mount up to the cab. Then this little piece here, just sit that inside there. The other half of your air cleaner on top, and that now sits flush. Now it's all filed. Two little tapping screws, one in there, one in there. Get them screwed up nice and tight. Then the little mesh for the top of your air cleaner, just pop that around like so. Keep the cut out part to the back. That's going to be facing the cab. And then this lid has a couple of ridges. Yep, there we go. And you want tiny little fiddly tapping screws again. Screw that up. So now your air cleaner's looking something like this. So now we're going to need to fit it. So we're going to require a few of these little flange nuts, your exhaust stack which we've built, a couple of longer threaded bolts, and the flange nuts for the ends of them. So we shall get these in place now. So we'll start with this. Now looking at the cab upside down, I'm going to be mounting through this hole here. So your pipe from your air cleaner is just going to sit into there, that hole onto there. Now I've got this upside down, so remember the mesh is like toward the top of the cab. So we're going this way in. As you can see down here, just put them through there. Then the flange nut into the end of this screw, and then just using the wrench in your Tamiya kit just to tighten that into place. So the bottom half of the exhaust stack, using these holes just behind the cab door and those. Now remember to have this the correct way around. So if you look, the holes are set to one side. So once rotated round, the holes are set to that side. As you can see, making the stack sitting more comfortable. So just take note on when fitting those to make sure that you've got them the right way around. Now, longer bolt and a flange nut. Fit that in there. Now the other one, if I just through there, you get the flange nut just to hold in place, and then just get your screwdriver. Remember the little wrench just to hold on to the other side of the flange nut just while you get those tightened up. Now this next point is going to be the lights. Again, that's where I was on about, where are going to be required to be glued together and then lenses and stuff glued in. Well, eventually I'm going to be having LEDs fitted in, so it's pointless me doing these at this stage. But it's really simple, just following the steps. What you're doing is just gluing that into there and gluing your lens into the end, and then they'll sit onto your cab, tiny little screws, and just thread them through the holes as where stated in the manual. So I'll go ahead and I'll fit this one to the arch. I won't be gluing the lens in, but I can fit that to the arch for now. So for the little indicator light on the arch, I'm just going to need this to actually go under the arch. Again, this is to like just tidy your wires up if you have an MFU installed, because there you'd have a flashing amber indicator light, and the small screw just to hold that back up. So again, cab on its roof. So as you can see, I've done with that one. Just going to do the same here. I would just go over there, give it a little space for wire to tuck, so then you can neatly tidy all your wires up and keep it all hidden. Which at some point when I come to reinstalling the MFU into this, we can go back through all this. But this build's not done yet, because I am going to be pulling bits apart, as I said, to put some upgrades on. So the Grand Hauler build itself is going to be here for a while, on and off. Well, that's the joys of build, they're never finished. So you want to take your indicator, and that's just going to go under the arch, sat in that groove, and just tap that into there. So now the grille and the headlights, and a lot of this again is done from underneath the cab, and then we can get the dashboard in there. So for mounting the grille, we're going to be using the 15mm screws. Remember to always keep tabs on what size screws it's stating to use, because they do fluctuate throughout the build. So yeah, you want to take your headlights and pop them in from behind, just like so. Now they only go in one way, which is that way, but you know when fitting them, because they won't fit. If you look on the back of the grille, and they're just going to line up with these holes, just one in there just to hold the grille in place. So there you can see it's all held in. And the final screw, which is a smaller 8mm screw, oops, I'll just go into the hole here at the top. Looking at it, yeah, I'm happy with how it's turning out and how it's progressing and stuff like that. It's nicely coming to life. So let's crack on and get some more done. But now I'm going to fit the dashboard, and that'll use the other 2 holes that were left out on the bottom of the windscreen earlier. I won't be gluing that down yet, and I won't be gluing the steering wheel onto there, but I will install the dashboard. Again, that's just basic kit building, it's just gluing and sticking, so I'll be leaving that out again because it's to come off for me to put all my vinyl on, but I'm going to be painting my dash to suit. So dashboard, your tappers, so the next phase, cab on, and it's just showing you to mount the cab up, and it requires the smaller 6mm screws and the 4 holes you see down the side and the brackets we did in the last build episode. And then all you're going to do is just screw them into the threaded plates at the back, right down the cab, and same for the other side. Now it's pointless me screwing them in because my cab's going to be on and off at the minute, but it's just real simple. Right, so next part now will be the stack tops, and these are going to require gluing together. I will glue these together because I've no reason not to glue them together, but they just clip together like so. Obviously pop your glue in. So we'll get these glued up, run that around the inside of this lip. I'll just go and pop that in the clamp, and then it's same again for the other one. Now for the bumper. We've got a couple of these, and then all we're going to do with these is sit them over where you have your holes, and then the smaller screws, we'll just screw them into place. It should be looking something a little like that. Very shiny. The 2 holes on the front of the bumper, and if you look on the front of the actual chassis, you've got the 2 holes there, so that's where we're going to mount them up. And you're just going to need a couple of flange nuts at the back. So it's looking miles better now, it's all complete pretty much up front. Like I say, it's just the light surrounds and other bits like for on the roof, where I'll do it at a later date, such as the wiper blades and things. Other little fiddly bits that require glue. So now it's the back door to be made, where all the battery goes and stuff. Get that on, and that is virtually complete for now. Stacks, and then it's upgrades. And same again on the other side. So now they're up back looking something like that. And now for the clips on this side. So you're going to want one of these. And one of those. And that one will just come in from behind. We have a slightly larger 12mm screw. Pop and screw that one into there. and just repeat that for this side. So now there's pretty much the back door. The only letdown really to the cab is all the screws you see on the outside. So final bit is just another grab rail here, and like we've done with the other grab rails and the mirrors, nuts first with Loctite if it's painted. If you're going to be taking it apart, then I'd leave it as it is for now. In the bottom of this bed at the rear, you have two little holes cut out, and that's where these little things will slot in, and then these are just catches to shut your door over and keep it from falling out. So at the minute you might have noticed I still haven't got the visor on. There's the original visor that comes in the kit, so I won't be using that. Got one of these Batwing visors in metal, all chromed, made by Verkerk. So it looks much better than the standard one. So for this it's going to require a little drilling, so we'll come back and do that in another one and an upgrade video to it. But yeah, that'll go there, look much better. So now for the last thing for this video is stack exhaust. There's quite some weight to these. One of the heaviest parts of the truck. So there's the stacks. As you can see, there's like a big groove cut out the back. Now that's for a reason. That's so as that can go over the nuts at the back of this section here. So all we're doing with these is literally just slide them onto place. They could be held in with glue, I guess. But these are what do it for the Grand Hauler and me. These really set this truck off. The stack tops, which are just glued up not too long back, they've set, and they will also pop into the top. And the good things with these, you can have them anywhere you want. You want them facing backwards or outwards. I like the outwards look. So that, like I say, apart from a couple of bits which require gluing and a little bit here that I'm going to replace, this is the Grand Hauler and I like it. So we'll have a quick closer look at that now. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that build series. It's not finished, but as far as the kit goes, it's like 98% done as a kit. So it's going to be upgrades, deciding my paint and everything else throughout. So stay tuned for those videos because there's something different in all of them. If you're not already subscribed, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, drop me a comment down below. Again, thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.